And this presentation introduces the RED software. So I would like to give a brief overview of what you can do with the software, how it works. And well, don't worry, as said, this is just the overview. If you attend the tutorials, we will go into the details there. What I would like to do is to introduce the basic idea and give an overview of the functionality. So what is the basic idea? The basic idea is to allow researchers to access and analyze search engine data, motivated by this lack of data access that I mentioned in the first talk. So our aim is to allow researchers to access and analyze search engine data. And with search engine data here, we mean results from different search engines. So it's about the results. We could think about a lot more different types of search engine data. So for instance, the queries, which I will be talking about a bit later, but also other interaction data, for instance. This is not the focus of this software, so we're focusing on the results. The problems that we address with that software, of course, is that we do not have official access to search engine data. There is just a single API provided by Bing. So if you pay, you can access Bing data. That's very convenient. But the downside of that, of course, is you only have data from a single search engine. And of course, when we talk to researchers, everybody wants to analyze Google's data. So Bing is only the second best option here. What we've also seen is that data for studies often is collected manually, of course, which is a lot of work. I remember before we started developing RED 15 years ago, we did studies where we actually printed out search results, gave them to jurors to judge, and well, it was so much work. Of course, we had a lot of employment for student assistants here, but apart from that, it was just, not a very good way to do it. Then, especially in computer science, we often see that, of course, these people develop tools to do their studies, but these tools are usually only developed for a single study. And, well, you can download still the code from GitHub or something, but well, a code that is 10 years old and not maintained is not useful to anybody. So we see that even when people develop tools that are a bit more flexible than to be useful for a single study, they soon become outdated and are not maintained. So this is what we try to address with the RED software. To achieve that, we designed the software in a modular way. So we have the typical steps of designing a study, collecting the data, evaluating or analyzing the data, and then, of course, presenting the results. So our idea is, and we will see that in a minute, that we can extend each of that modules. So we can build extensions, or we can replace a module if new things come up that will help us. So we try to keep it flexible, and also this leads to better maintenance, of course. So the modules are basically test design, query generation, which I will be talking about later, the scraping of search results. Then, if you want to do that, juror-based evaluations, but also automatic analysis, which is mainly classifiers, and then you can download the results. The scrapers connect to different search systems. So for instance, we can automatically query Google, but also library catalogs or e-commerce portals, and potentially with just adding new scrapers, we can connect to any web page that has a search box. So this makes the tool very flexible. Of course, we have to develop more scrapers. You can have yourself build a scraper and add it to the system. So if you are interested in querying one particular website, you can simply add a scraper and then collect the results for that. Then we have extensions, which is mainly analysis components. So, for instance, classifiers, which you will hear a lot more about later on. And we have classifiers that are already integrated into RED, but we also have a lot of classifiers that, well, are not yet integrated or will not be integrated for several reasons, but you can just download the RED data, upload the data again into that classifier and let it run over that. So that is also a very flexible way of adding extensions to the software. So on this slide, I try to depict the modules that we have, and I will show you later on how we can extend everything based on this small model here. So first of all, if we do a search engine study, of course, we have to generate queries. So this is a big question. What queries shall we use? We design a test. So this is basically the test design. Then we scrape the results. So we collect results from different search engines we're interested in. And then we decide whether we want to have automatic analysis or juror-based evaluations or both. And then we have the results presentation. So that's the basic structure that we have. And before I show you what we already have and what we plan to do in terms of extending that, I would like to say a few words about result scraping. So what we do in screen scraping is we convert HTML documents into structured data. You can see on the right-hand side of the slide, this is a Google search results page. And in this case, I searched for my colleague Sebastian Zünkler. And you can see the different results. And what we now do in the software is we extract these snippets. So we have things like the URL, the title, the description in the snippet, and further information. And we put that into a structured format that you can simply download as an Excel file. So you can see from the results page we generate that table. And we have the title is extracted, the description, the URL, the position on which this result was found, and also, of course, the search engine where we found that result. So a very nice and convenient way of collecting the search results, but we go beyond that and also collect the results documents. So what we basically do is we click on every result and copy the HTML code of the result and also make a screenshot of the result. And this brings us to the next step, to the two different interfaces we have. So we have an interface for jurors. Say you want to ask a question about search results. So you collected a lot of search results, and now you want to ask how relevant they are or whatever question comes to mind. My question here that you can see highlighted in orange is whether this is a trustworthy page about Sebastian. So just to illustrate that you basically can ask any question. And in this case, I decided it's just a yes or no question. So the jurors will go through the results and just click through the results. They can read, as I said, we make a copy of all the pages. They can read through it. So here we also collect the data at one point in time, and all the jurors see that version that we collected. The second thing we can do is to apply automatic analysis or the classifiers, and here what I highlighted is the SEO classifier. So we build a classifier that can detect whether people tried to optimize their pages to get a higher ranking in Google or other search engines. And this classifier gives an output of, this page is probably optimized, highly probably optimized, not optimized, and so on. And here you can see the results very conveniently in the RED interface. So this brings us to back to the model I showed you, the same structure, and you can see here what we have already implemented. So we have different scrapers. So for some web search engines like Google, Bing, and Ecosia, We have a scraper for scientific search, which is a scraper for a library catalog. In terms of automatic analysis, we have something that calculates the results overlap. We have the SEO classifier that I mentioned, and we can also calculate a readability score for the documents. Let's speak a bit about extensions. So with extensions, you can add especially automatic classification of websites as well, further classifiers. So for instance, we had people developing something that extracts the imprints that you have on German web pages. So it automatically finds whether a page has affiliate links or AdSense results. So whatever you think can be extracted from the HTML code can be added as an extension to RED. As I said, we have some classifiers that are integrated into RED and some that are standalone. So you basically, when you design a study in RED, you can select one of the classifiers you want to use that is already implemented, or the other way around, if you want to use something that's not yet implemented into RED, you can just download the RED results, so the Excel file, the table, and then run the extension with that data. Of course, what we will be doing is we will extend the system and add further classifiers into the RED software. This brings us to kind of, well, looking into the future. You can see the same diagram. And you can see what we aim to add. So we want to add, of course, more search engines, more systems for scientific search, but also e-commerce like Amazon or eBay, social media like YouTube or Reddit, and news search engine like Google News or Bing News. So this gives an impression of, well, how broad the spectrum actually is where we can add scrapers. And of course, if you now think, well, there would be one system I would like to scrape, just talk to us and maybe we can do something about that. The second part where we will extend the software is the automatic analysis. So we have well, lots of things that are already tested out, and we will add that to the system as well. The last part is results presentation and visualization. Also here we have some work already done where we can, well, automatically visualize, for instance, information retrieval measures, but also we're working on other things where we do visualizations, making the work for researchers even more easy than just having to calculate the same stuff over and over again. So to speak about some of the applications, application areas where RED has already been used. So we have, there are already some published studies using RED in different fields. So for instance, you can use it in information retrieval, which basically was our very first idea because we first developed the tool for our own purposes, and at that time at least we were interested about in relevance judgments and how relevant results are. So that was the basic idea. But then we learned that you can use that well, in quite different areas. Here are just some examples: environmental studies, political science, and communications. And of course, many other fields, as we will see today in the afternoon. I want to say a few words about the RED project because we've been doing this for quite a long time already, and it all started with, shall I say, two young men, or at least two much younger men than today, Sebastian Sünkler and me. We began to talk about this in 2009 when Sebastian was still a student assistant, and I had the idea of building a system like this, and he just said, well, I can do that. And this is how it all started. And we're still here doing it, so I count it as a big success. We had a first prototype presented in 2012 already with limited functionality, and then we further developed it in our projects. The downside of that was, of course, that well, it was project-based. We always developed something, and then it became outdated, and then we developed something else, and so on. You know how it was. But then from 2021 on, we got funding from the German Research Foundation, which is very good, and they basically fund this project, which has allowed us to build the software anew from scratch using state-of-the-art technology. So the project, the funded project, is not only about the research software development. It's also about supporting interested researchers. So some of you we already supported in doing your studies, but if you are interested in doing a study using the software, we can help you here as well, and we're happy to help, of course, so just contact us. And then our third aim of the project is community building. So we're all here. This is part of the community building, and thereby we want to foster search engine research in general, independent of using a particular piece of software or not. Of course, every funding runs out sometime, and our funding runs out at the end of October, and we have applied for a second funding round, and fingers crossed we will get it. So we're waiting for the decision here, but me personally, I'm very confident because we did good work, I would say, and therefore I hope we will get the funding as well. So there are different ways to use the software if you want to. The first thing is you can just download the source code and run your own installation of RAD. So everything we do is open source, is on GitHub, is documented, so you can, if you have the technical capabilities, you can just run your own version. You can also use the web-based version that we provide. We have a demo which you will also see in the tutorials. So the demo, of course, has limited functionality, but if you want to use the full thing, you can just register and we will give you a code to access the full version. And if you think, well, that is also too complicated for me, we can run the study for you, so just speak to us and we will do our best to help you with designing your study, because we already have a lot of experience, of course, with that as well, with data collection and the analysis. We also now have much more information on the website. We have some general information, of course, about RAD. We have some sample studies where you can see what other researchers have done using it. We have information on the data structure, so what is in the file that you download from the software. And we have the videos from the community meetings. You see everything is recorded here. No worries, it's only the talks, not the tutorials, not the discussions. So there is an option to watch the videos later on as well. If you are a developer and like to contribute to RAD, there are different options for that as well. So you can develop a classifier, a scraper, or also help with developing the RAD core. We have resources for that, so kind of how you can contribute. We have a GitHub repository, of course, and the best option if you have an idea and want to contribute something is that you speak to Sebastian Sünkler, who is the head of tech. So that would be the best way here. Finally, in this presentation, we're still very early in the day, but I still want to give some thank yous. I don't want to read all the names, but I mean, a project like this is not possible without the help of many people. So first of all, of course, the Search Studies team at the university here, but also I would especially like to thank my students at the University of Duisburg-Essen, where I spent the last 2 years in the computer science department, and these are just the names of people who did project work or their thesis, developing something, an extension to RED, doing a study with RED. These are just the people who've done that in the last 12 months, so a lot more of them here as well. Also, of course, the people you will talk to throughout the day here are the student assistants. These are the current student assistants. There's a long list of people who have also helped with developing RED in the past. Of course, everyone who contributes to the meeting to make it a success. Then the Förderverein Universität Duisburg-Essen, who provided us some funding for student travel, which I'm very grateful for. So all the pizza you had yesterday was provided by these people. And last but not least, of course, the German Research Foundation for, I can say, a very generous funding, which helped us a lot in developing this and also organizing meetings like the one today.